It's been quite a while since I actually made a YouTube video. It could be that either A, I got lost with streaming and I started enjoying that a little bit more, or it could be the fact that every single time I try to make a YouTube video on a certain topic, I start to lose motivation and just go, I'll stream it anyway. That'll actually be something useful for the streams. But not this time. This particular video that I'm covering is the bit where Phil said that detractors owe him and should support anonymously. The only reason why this video got my attention is because Broside Phil, the lovable muscle man that everybody knows with cop law enforcement on his background, has recommended me to watch this video. So I decided to give it a little bit of a look-see and see what that was all about. And after I watched a little bit of said video, I blame Broside Phil for this because I can.
Here you go. Someone has made a suggestion. You guys ready for this suggestion? So this is an anonymous $4.90 tipper, first off.
Thank you, OIC, for the anonymous $4.90 tip.
Here is what they're suggesting. I'm curious how everyone's going to react to this. I'm going to just read this right now, okay? So everyone listen up. On everyone. Everyone watching me on my stream on YouTube, everyone watching me on my stream on Kick, and get this, this is actually a message to the people who are now watching me live restreamed as well. Yes, I'm serious. This is a message to everyone from this tipper. Are you ready?
Oh, hey, everybody. Everyone that's watching on his YouTube chat, everybody watching on Kick or Raw Phil, or just any other illegal restreamer out there, guess what? The king has a message. Let's hear it out, shall we?
Since potentially thousands of people are currently watching you on restreams, would you consider doing a segment that says the following? You like to watch me on other channels, but since I'm creating the content that you watch and obviously you enjoy it, consider supporting me anonymously.
Yeah, all of that right there, I immediately just tuned out of it, though, because what this message is entailing is like, hey, detractors, I know you hate me, but please give me money since you like my content, right?
I understand that you can't use your real name and you can't actually use your identity because in your circles, people will probably make fun of you. But if you legitimately like watching me, even for malicious purposes of making fun of me on a restreamer, please still support my content anonymously.
The only reason why this message, and I'm saying with the biggest of air quotes, is saying this shit is because of one of two things. One, DSP automatically knows who is sending him tips via PayPal, so he automatically would have your information. So that's the reason why he wants that. Also, number two, it's pretty much a golden rule in the detractor community to not give Phil money. Not everybody abides by said rule, but, you know, you can't stop everybody.
Now, here's the deal. I actually believe that some people do this already, okay? I would guess that a lot of these people who do these anonymous tips, or some of these people who do these tips, oh, say this disgusting name or say this stupid thing, I bet that that's those people. I wouldn't even be shocked at all to hear that it's those people, right?
I pretty much know for a fact that they wouldn't name themselves orangutan pussy leaking seepage or whatever the fuck they want to name some disgusting name. I'm pretty sure that detractors don't do that because they have a little bit more self-respect than that. Also, that seems like someone from your audience would do, or someone from the Kino Casino people would do for you. You know, the ones that still hang around hoping for something good to happen.
We get tons of anonymous contributions. We get anonymous subs, we get anonymous tips, right? All the time.
We get the anonymous tippers. We get the anonymous subs. Yeah, we.
But very much so, I think those who even restream me would admit, even if you don't like me, you can admit, I don't sit here shilling crap products to my audience and try to get them to buy garbage.
Highly doubt that, Phil. You're the one that's shilling out your fucking merchandise with your mugs, with your t-shirts, with your hoodies. Like, hey, you want, like, water-enhanced flavors with your mug? Well, guess what? Buy my mug. That way, you can have all the flavored enhanced water that you want. Oh, by the way, do you want to look fashionable to get beat up by? Buy my t-shirt, and buy my hoodie, and buy a tote bag, because mine got stolen.
Because I respect them more than that. I would much rather sit here and ask directly for contributions and crowdfunding than say, hey, buy a fucking shitty razor or buy overpriced cookies or, you know, buy this stupid jersey or do a food subscription plan.
Again, did I just mention that you ask people? Well, not ask, demand that people buy shit from your merchandise, you know, t-shirts, and you mentioned jerseys. Yeah, that seems like something to point out with that one. Another thing that I've noticed that when he brings up everything talking about Manscaped, HelloFresh, Blue Apron, all these advertisements that people are offered and they actually do have on their own channels or their own content. I think the reason why Phil brings this up quite a lot is because he's actually envious and jealous when everybody else gets it. When Phil got them, it was not a problem. He could take them all. But nowadays, he doesn't do that anymore because he has self-value for himself, even though that's just hypocrisy talking.
Because of that, I would hope that people understand that and would possibly come by and say, you know, even though necessarily I don't love Phil at all moments, there are times when I like his content, and certainly I like laughing at him with the community. So I want that to continue. So I'm going to support it.
This is where Phil's trying to use reverse psychology on the detractors, because you like making fun of me, right? You love laughing at me, so why don't you throw me some money? You know, because you like making fun of me. Like, we could see your reverse psychology from a mile away, Phil. Like, we could see this fucking shit. Also, community? What community?
And then they would every once in a while become a member or do an anonymous tip or give some subs on Kick, right?
Yeah, they're not going to do that, Phil. And if they do become a member on your channel, it's not by choice.
But here's the thing. Do I necessarily need to go ahead and do that? Think about it. Do I really need to ask out specifically to that audience, hey, please contribute? I think those people who genuinely like the content know who they are.
Yeah, they know who they are, and every single time that you look at them, you're like, oh, hey, Ryan. I mean, Jinx. I mean, oh, I see. I mean, Iron Chef Sakai. Oh, yeah, those people. You know immediately who the whales are, Phil. But if anyone else gives you like $5, that's not good enough. But if someone gives you $20 or $50, they get a name shout out.
And they're going to come by eventually and maybe do that if they're ever going to. I don't think that my asking for that is actually going to help anything.
What is it not going to help out, Phil? I mean, it's going to help out your bank account by giving you money from the people that quote-unquote hate watch you, the illegal restreamers or the detractors. That's what you want. You're going to keep on saying that, I don't want to ask for this. I don't have to ask for it. I'm just going to demand it from my actual audience, and they'll just throw money at me because I demand it so. I am king.
I don't think that... Wow! I've had a mind-blowing idea. Phil has asked me, someone watching a restream, to contribute, and now because he did, I'm going to go contribute now.
Nah, that's not going to happen. Instead, they're going to give the restreamer the money instead of you.
I don't think that's going to happen. Here, you ready? We'll give it a shot. This message is directly to everyone watching me on a restream. I know that you probably don't love me, but you probably get some value in watching my content, whether it's ripping it apart or making fun of me or whatever it is. Please understand that your support allows it to continue, whether it's for good or bad reasons, whether you actually enjoy it for good reasons or you like making fun of me, the support still keeps it rolling. So please come by right now and support my content with an anonymous tip, or how about this, some subs on Kick, because we have absolutely nothing on Kick this morning. There are a bunch of bums and schlubs over there, and they're not supporting the content. So maybe you can pick up the slack for that. There you go.
Wow. I just love it immediately how Phil tries to call out to everybody watching Detractor content that's watching you and hoping that they give you money. Trying to use the pig gnosis onto the detractors and anyone that watches Detractor content while also making fun of your Kick audience. What a smart business strategy there, Phil.
Now let's see what happens. Will tons of fun start rolling in this very moment? Let's find out.
Yeah, fat chance that's ever going to happen, fucko.
I received a $5 tip. Thank you. Who is this? So this person says, to clarify, restreamers pull numbers and are active watching everything you're live. And I've seen them gift subs, gift money to the host and so on. Many just chill and actually respond to your opinions on games and events. Most are negative assholes. Some seem to enjoy the community. You enable them to have that because they're piggybacking on you. So as social beings, it's reasonable, in my opinion, to direct their attention every now and then the reality that you enable them to community they so desire and enjoy off of the mother channel. Of course.
He immediately reads that entire fucking thing and just goes, wow, you're absolutely right. I am the main reason why they're successful. I am the main reason why they're making money, even though the good majority of them don't make money off of it. But if they do choose to make money off of it, it's their own decision, not yours.
So thanks for the $5 tip. I appreciate that.
Thanks for the money, dummy.
And what you're saying is very reasonable. Okay, and very smart, actually, and intelligent. Like, if you're watching someone make fun of someone, even if you don't like the person, understand that that person must be supported, because if they're not, they will not continue to make the content that you like to make fun of. So you should every once in a while support it regardless, right?
No, you shouldn't support the content. You shouldn't be supported if they are watching a detractor stream. You shouldn't be. Instead, what the detractors are doing is making you tolerable by having their commentary on it, or just having someone else like give their own insight about anything, or just shoot the shit with their own audience, or better yet, do Forrest Gump impressions, because let's be honest, you're looking like Forrest Gump right now.
But the thing is, what you're saying is intelligent. And I hate to say it, a lot of people who watch something just to crap on it are not intelligent people.
Immediately says, hey, detractors, anonymously give me money, to, I'm just going to insult them even more because they're not giving me a dime. Again, smart business strategy there, Phil.
Intelligent people are people who have lives, have constructive, positive things going on for themselves, and, you know, families, relationships, jobs and careers, hobbies. They don't have time to just sit around and dump on people 24/7.
Phil, you are really insulting the detractors right now, because everything you just described that's considered to be a positive outlook on life, or just anything that's positive in anybody's lives, detractors have that. They have hobbies, they have friends, they have families, they have jobs and careers, they have all those things, and yet they can take time out of their way, their busy life, to go on and shit on you.
The people who have time to do that are miserable wretches.
I'm such a miserable wretch. Hey, do I have a bankruptcy or a foreclosure underneath my belt? I don't think so.
That's the truth, is that this entire online culture of people who hate watch, the reason they hate watch is because they don't have a good life for themselves. If they did, they wouldn't have to spend time hating on others' lives.
What are you doing right now, Phil? You're hating on detractors because they're not giving you a dime? You're hating on detractors because they have more success than you do? That they have more people watching their content over yours? Or their videos do like better when it comes to numbers? You're immediately just hating on people right now, and you're just coping and projecting. Typical Phil.
They really don't have that rational level of thought in their heads to say, oh yeah, well, it's common sense to think, I like making fun of Phil. Phil needs support to stay in business. Let me support his business so we can make fun of him more.
Phil talking about common sense is like a slap to the face. Every single time that he talks about how he has common sense, but yet he can't tell the difference between someone making fun of him to someone actually razzing him.
Here's a perfect example. For years, there was this silly meme about me doing push-ups.
I really don't think that was a meme, Phil. It wasn't because of you not doing the push-ups or you doing push-ups live on air in biggest of air quotes. It was how you acted afterward. How as soon as that person didn't give you money because you didn't show yourself doing push-ups and you banned that person, that's what they were going after, not you doing push-ups.
2 weeks ago on Smart Guys, PPP and I set this up that I was going to do push-ups, but people needed to support it. You've wanted to see me do push-ups and make fun of me doing push-ups for how many years?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that everybody wanted to sit there, open up their Velcro wallets, and see you do push-ups. Yeah, I highly doubt that was the case, Phil. And you doing a push-up, you look like you're humping the ground.
Here's the truth. For me, it's no big deal. I don't care. I don't care if I can get on this floor and do 20 push-ups or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even factor into me or my life.
But if money's involved, then it definitely factors into your life.
If I can do them, great. If I can't, it doesn't matter. I can still do my work. I can still have a fun life. I don't care if I can do push-ups.
You can't do push-ups, Phil. You're just going to go there humping the floor 20 times and say, look, I did push-ups. Where's my money?
Only my detractors care. So we said, hey, let's hit our goal for today and Phil will do the push-ups. Guess what didn't happen? We didn't hit any contributions at all for it. Now, that's the content they claim they want.
No, it is not, Phil. This is not the content that detractors want. What, in all actuality, what detractors really want is for you to hold yourself accountable for the bullshit that you've done. And for you to say that, wow, I'm actually a terrible person. And not just you sitting there looking at the camera, looking ever so insincere. They want accountability, which you don't even provide. And when you do, it's insincere, it's not genuine, and it's really overall fake.
They've claimed for how many years we want the push-ups because we want to make fun of Phil doing push-ups. But then when it's time to put the money where the mouth is, zero is received.
Because nobody really cares about it, like you said. But again, you're trying to get money out of something that's really stupid.
So this is the point. It's not that these people, these hate watchers, right? The reason that they hate watch is to feel better about themselves.
Highly doubt that. I think it's mostly about spreading awareness of how big of a piece of shit you are. Not because I don't feel good about myself and I need to pick me up.
Because they're miserable wretches and embarrassments to humanity.
Second time that he brought up that detractors or hate watchers are miserable wretches, because he doesn't have anything creative to say about people, or just anything really.
That's not me actually like insulting them.
Pretty much it is an insult, but you just really suck at doing the insults.
That's me being truthful.
That's a good one. Very nice.
People don't watch people to make fun of them unless they have something bad going on in their own life they need to feel better about.
No, it's actually to prove how big of a toxic piece of shit that you are. How you treat your audience, how you treat your friends, how you treat your own wife and cat. Phil, if I really wanted to make myself feel better about myself, I just go pet one of my corner demons.
People who are busy with positive things don't have time to dump on others 24/7.
Yes they do. It's called a hobby.
So, in that regard, that's why they're not going to pay to see what they want. Because then if you pay, you feel like, oh no, well, I just improved the life of the person who I'm trying to bring down. You kind of see what I'm saying here?
Again, you're trying to use reverse psychology on everybody, and yet what you're trying to do is say, hey, they should just give me money and make them feel bad because they gave money to me. Where are you going with this, Phil?
They need to degrade someone to feel better about themselves, so if they supported that person, they would feel like they're improving the person they're trying to degrade.
And now we come across one of Phil's tactics. Well, he'll repeat the point, but he'll do something to change his point to make it look like it's a different point entirely, but it's the same point. Instead of saying, bring me down, he changed that to degrade. And with him ending, do you see my point? He changed it around to a little like kung fu fighting in the air, trying to quote unquote shadow box himself, which just makes him look like he's giving a really bad pitch. But what Phil doesn't seem to understand is that's what the internet is. The internet's going to be filled with people that will hate on anything and anyone because they want to. Welcome to the internet, Phil. You've been around for about 17 years. I thought you learned this by now.
At least that's my take, right? Maybe I'm wrong. But the funny part is, some people actually do come by after some time and be like, you know, Phil, out of all that hate watching and all the crap, I'm sorry for it. And I just want to let you know, I'm moving forward positively. Either I'm not going to watch you at all anymore, or I've actually started watching you positively on your own raw content and I've become a fan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that whole people coming over to you to watch your content raw in a positive light, that whole bit is a lie. But people actually leaving your content, that part is absolutely fucking true. Because either A, you insulted them, or B, you're just flat out boring. Look at all the whales that you had back in the past. You had Jordan, who gave you money during Another Crab's Treasure in Stardew Valley, then you insulted the guy. That person's no longer there anymore. You had Game Trucker helping you out with fucking Street Fighter, even though he never owned the goddamn game to begin with. He took off because, well, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm out. And you had Void, the person that was actually making you emotes and the person that was giving you money and subs. That person's no longer there anymore because you insulted the guy by saying that he was an idiot for suggesting community fan nights.
I'm not watching the regurgitation, the restreamer, the hater. I'm actually coming by and becoming a viewer of yours now that's going to hang out and support you.
Highly doubt that was the case, Phil. They're mostly going to be watching detractors because at least they make it more palatable to watch you. Also, you're wanting apologies because you're an apology fetishist.
That's happened. I get those kind of messages quite frequently. I'd say probably a couple times a month. I'll get someone who reaches out to me via private means and says, just so you know, I used to be one of these really dedicated haters, but now I've seen the error of my ways. I think that it's stupid.
I highly doubt that anybody has sent you messages like that. I think it's just you and Kat contriving some messages to send to yourself. That way it looks like that, oh, they've seen the light. They've seen the light of Jesus, and they saw the error of their way, so they're not going to make fun of you anymore.
And I'm going to move forward, positively. Well, right. Cracker Jacks is kind of like a bully in school. Exactly. Remember I told you the story? When I was in high school, I was bullied by this guy. All right.
And welcome to another story that never happened.
And then years later, like I think I was either in like my late years of going to university, whatever. I was like in my early 20s. The guy actually reached out to me online and personally apologized to me for being a bully in high school.
This story never fucking happened. He just wants to make a story again because his apology fetishist needs to go off even more. The apology radar is kicking in.
And I was like, just so you know, I appreciate it, but you didn't have to because I don't really care. It didn't really bother me. You know what I mean? But that was nice. But that's what I mean. These people are essentially anonymous bullies, and the reason they do it is because they need to feel better about themselves because they're miserable wretches.
Third time he brought up miserable wretch because he can't really think of anything clever to say. And again, Phil, you don't know what a detractor is going through in their life. You don't know anything or everything about them. Instead, you're going by what you're seeing, which is the truth about you. You don't like it because it's ruining your reputation, your business, and you're just going to keep on insulting them because it makes you feel good.
You know, so in a way, you got to feel bad for those people, because imagine if your whole life was just dumping on someone. That's all you did all day. Like, what constructive things? That's your life you're wasting.
This is coming from the guy that has wasted his entire life on Street Fighter. This is the guy that wasted his whole entire life shilling out his own name on the internet. This is the same guy that would actually tell people what's going on in his own personal life and then regrets it because as soon as everything came to light for him, then all of a sudden he stops like bringing up information about his personal life, but yet brings it up every once in a while with DSP's day off. Again, all of this is just projection and cope.
You're literally wasting your entire life away. And one day you're going to die.
Thank you for explaining what death is. Thank you for explaining what life is.
And you're going to say, oh shit, I spent years of my life sitting around with a community of nut jobs, dumping on someone on the internet when I could have done things for myself that would have improved my own life situation. Instead of living in a shitty small place in squalor, I could have went out and I could have got a job. I could have worked my ass off. I could have had a relationship with a significant other. I could have made amends with my friends and family members and went out and had a good time. But instead, I was at home watching other people make fun of Dark Side Phil.
This is where it immediately becomes stupid. Like, Phil's immediately going that detractors are just loners that live with their parents in the basement. When all detractors out there, they have something going on in their lives. They have families. They have friends. They actually have a good standing with their family, or actually have a family of their own. Going back to that point, they can also go out and actually not have the living of fear in their eyes, or just feeling paranoid that someone's going to go out and get them like Phil does. And then again, Phil's going to sit there and be like, wow, they just spent all their life hating on me when they could have doing all these things, and they're hanging around nut jobs. When in all actuality, the detractor community is actually a good community. We actually talk amongst things. We could shoot the shit talking about video games, talking about music, talking about films, just anything and everything, Phil. At least in that community, you can have that. But in your community, you can't have that at all, or else you're banned.
Who's the real loser in this situation?
You. Just you.
The guy who's living large, having a great life, enjoying his content, enjoying his time with his viewers, and making bank doing it, and just, you know, having positivity and fun? Or the person who's on the other end of it, who all you can do is try to bring me down and fail every single day?
The one with you living large. Like, honestly, this is just stupid to me. How you're going to sit there and say, I'm living large. I'm enjoying my community and making bank. That's one phrase that you should not have said, Phil, because we already know that you don't care about your community. You just care about making money out of them. You see them coming in, you see dollar signs, you see cent signs. You don't see individuality in your chat. You just see ATMs. You see money bags, like overflowing with cash, and you're hoping that you can get a piece of that. That's what you see. You don't see a community of people that can actually enjoy anything and actually have civil discussions, agree to disagree on things, Phil. You don't have that at all. But you love to cope and project and make yourself look better, and to make yourself look like you're better than everybody else, like the narcissist that you are, that no one can bring you down, but as soon as someone criticizes you, then your fifis are hurt.
And then your life is going to be the one that's squandered, not mine.
This is coming from the guy that has completely squandered every opportunity, and the one that has burned every bridges on every relationship and friendship that he's ever fucking had. He burnt the bridge with John and Howard as soon as he moved across the country and kept talking shit about them. And as soon as they made their video about you, you didn't like that very much, and you waited until they were gone. You ruined the relationship with Leanna because she was getting sick and tired of like staying at home to cater to your needs. Instead, she actually went out with her own friends and actually had a better life. I'm glad she left the snort for it. You ruined every opportunity that you had to make your channel better. Every single time there was a paid advertisement, nope, decline that. I don't need money. But yet you go back on the internet begging for money. You ruined an opportunity that you could have had with side scrollers by lying and denying everything. You could have improved yourself, Phil. But you chose not to, and you're happy to be stuck where you are. And you actually told June the King this.
I'm enjoying my life. Every day that I'm on this stream, I'm having a great time. Obviously not you.
Yeah, you're totally enjoying yourself playing video games and getting incredibly butthurt whenever you lose at a video game, or when the game has challenge, or when your audience doesn't give you money.
So, I mean, again, it's all about kind of like self-awareness. People who are self-aware, you get to that certain age or that certain level of maturity in your life, and you realize some certain things, right?
This is very ironic coming from Phil, who has no self-awareness to himself and claimed that he reached maturity when he was in his early 30s.
You know what it really is? If you get to a certain age, here's the truth. All right, here's some real talk from Phil Burnell, not Dark Side Phil, but here's some real talk from Phil Burnell right now.
I thought that DSP wasn't a character, Phil, that was you. And now Phil Burnell is the actual you and not the character?
At one point in your life, you're going to get old enough where people around you, sadly, are going to start to get sick and pass away.
Again, thank you for explaining things about life.
It happened to me probably around the early 2010s when some of my family members started to get ill with cancer and things like that and pass away.
Yeah, and then you got on to somebody for calling you a cancer, and then you went on a big tirade about how your family member almost died of cancer.
And when that happened, all of a sudden, reality smacked me right in the face.
Now, reality could slap you in the face multiple times, but you still wouldn't get the message.
I'm not invincible.
No, of course you're not. You're a frail old man with a saggy skin suit, and one little thing happens, someone pushed you down with the tip of their finger, you would cry.
I'm not immortal.
We already know this, Phil. Invincible and immortal are pretty much the same thing, Phil.
I'm going to get older.
Well, yeah, you pretty much are older, and you're complaining that every single time that you play a video game it hurts you, that you're getting older and your carpal tunnel's kicking in.
I'm going to die.
Yeah, and when you die, nobody would care. Maybe your family would care, but nobody else would really care.
I have limited time on this planet.
Again, he's going on philosophical bullshit right now, which, Phil, talking philosophy,
And I need to start making the best of it.
Which you have not.
Instead of just saying, fuck it all, it's all meaningless, and squandering it all.
Which you have done already.
And when that happened, okay, things changed for me. I started to realize it's time to stop being a negative, toxic jerk.
This coming from a toxic, negative jerk.
And instead, trying to spread positivity amongst the people who I have interactions with.
Yeah, spreading positivity. Oh, hey, you have depression? Well, at least you're not grinding E-Honda the master. That's positive.
I changed my attitude in the Street Fighter community and started becoming a positive tournament organizer.
Yeah, but you had other people running the tournament for you.
I stopped being a toxic jerk who crapped on every piece of gameplay I ever did, but instead wanted to make positive, fun, interactive streams with my viewing audience.
This is just a flat-out fucking lie. We've seen you play video games, and if something doesn't go your way, you're immediately wanting to punch a developer in the nuts.
And this happens as you get older, but I feel like there are some people who never get that moment of self-awareness and awakening where they feel the human condition for the first time.
You know what they call that, Phil? There's a simple word for that. They call that an epiphany. You never had one.
Some people never get it because they're living in this isolated bubble where they actually think that like there's fucking a special snowflake and you know what I mean? Oh, I'm never going to die. Nothing's ever, ever going to happen. I could sit here for endless hours.
I just love how immediately he's like going on and on about this shit, about how people are living in their own little bubbles. You know, Phil projecting as always. I didn't think the Comcast detractor heard about this because, he ain't taking this lightly, Phil. He actually hates this. Yep, Comcast does not like you.
I could sit here.
Still going. Comcast detractor heard you were talking shit.
And I think you need to reach that level. I think what happens is it'll happen to everyone. Like everyone's going to get to that point in their life. For me, it was about, the first realization I had was in my late 20s.
Late 20s. Uh-huh. You sure that wasn't early 30s?
When I realized that when I stopped trolling in the Street Fighter community and instead tried to do positive things like run tournaments and stuff, that I was feeling much better about myself and everyone liked me, as opposed to previous to then everyone hated my guts and wanted to beat my ass.
Again, you keep saying that everybody liked you because you stopped doing certain things. Phil, the internet does not forget about the shit that you've done. And they're immediately going to be like, hey, aren't you the guy that was talking shit back in the SRK forums? Or the guy that called in on alphaisms and was giving bad advice and then that buff, muscular Asian dude told you to shut the fuck up? Yeah, you're that guy. Yeah, you're the guy that needs to be told to shut
the fuck up.
And I was like, oh yeah, in conversation, rather than it just being about me making content and talking about games, it became about us having a social experience.
But if you talk about religion, if you talk about sports, and if you talk about steaks, you're gone.
And when we started doing that, I had this big realization that instead of just being a negative jerk all day, every day, I wanted to spread positivity and I wanted to make an impact on people that mattered. And so I changed my content for the better. I changed my commentary. I changed my style of playing games, right? Everything changed. Take a look. When I became a full-time streamer in 2017, how different my content became moving forward after that.
You know, I'm going to take a little bit of a moment to stop him right there. He loves to say that he's changed for the better, that he's changed positively, but this is also the same guy that proclaimed that he never changed. He was the same old guy that he was back in the day. So, Phil, which is it? You changed or you didn't change? You got to pick a lane with that, buddy. You got to stick by it.
Since compared to before that. And, you know, a lot of people will say, well, everything before that was the golden era. I get that. That was my formative years when I was at my biggest popularity.
When he means biggest popularity, that was when he was making a shitload of money. That's what he means.
I like who I am and what I do today way more than what I did back then.
I highly doubt that he likes being where he's at right now, because every single time that Phil would like to bring up the good old days of YouTube, he's referring to the times where people would toss money at him, back when people would actually give him free shit, back when he had quote-unquote respect on the internet. That's the days that he really wants, those glory days of Phil, but he'll never get those days ever again. They're way far behind him. Now, he's just a shell of a man that pretends that he likes video games, and when he gets his ass kicked in Street Fighter, he'll constantly make excuses, say that he hates the game, that he wants to quit the game, but then, a few days later, he'll go right back to playing that same game with the same excuses on a different day.
And I would never want to go back to that, all right? So I feel like these people who hate watch, right now, they're at a time in their lives when they're miserable, they're probably younger, they probably don't understand that what they're doing is harmful, not only to me and my community, but harmful to their own selves.
I love how Phil immediately just sits there and go, yeah, this is harmful, not only to me, but to everybody else. You keep telling your audience that detractors were vile people and you need to avoid them and you need to take them down. This was coming from you, Phil, that you're automatically like sowing the seeds of paranoia and throwing that into your audience. You keep doing this over and over and over, and now all of a sudden you're pretending that you care for people? Get the fuck out of here.
They're actually wasting their own time on this planet when they could be doing positive, fun things. They could be part of a positive community where everyone hangs out and supports each other and they actually contribute to the streams, and then I'm able to upgrade my setup and do more stuff and buy more games and do new things.
You seem to think that detractor communities don't do this, that they don't support one another. They do, Phil. You just don't seem to think that. You seem to think that we're just hating on everybody, hating on everything, and not supporting anybody else. But we do support each other, Phil. Just not you. And that's what's making you upset. And now you're just making this whole thing about, hey, why don't you give me money? Where's my cut?
As opposed to, I sit on someone else's stream who illegally steals his content.
Even though most people that actually do streams about you, it is not illegal, it is under fair use, they're providing commentary about it, or actually providing insight about things, actually providing a good community about it.
And is actively trying to take away views and money. Guys, listen to me. If there was no illegal restreaming, I would have over 1,000 viewers on my stream right now.
Yeah, 1,000 people, so that way you could just beg to them and scam money out of them. That's what he really wants. He wants all the detractors to go away so he can profit off of it.
You know that, right? Every stream, Kick would probably have hundreds.
Uh-huh. Hundreds, huh? Not thousands?
YouTube would have thousands.
Yeah, I highly doubt that, Phil. When you were playing a hot new release, you had maybe, give or take, 500 to 600 people watching, and then they dipped to realize how boring you were.
And think, if I had that level of views and support, instead of that level of people who just clowned on me all day, what we could do. We could have reach. We could actually have impact. We could have videos that people cared about and people would listen to.
We could have all this. We could have reach. We could have videos. No, Phil, you could have had reach. You could have been making content that was actually entertaining for people, but you chose not to. Instead, you sat there playing victim and blaming it on everybody else. So this is all on you, not everyone else.
It would be a very different thing. And I used to have that power until the internet turned me into a negative meme for a decade.
The internet did not turn you into a negative meme, Phil. You did. You were the one that was being toxic to everybody. You were the one that told Evil Agent that he needs to have the white coats come and get him. You were the one telling that everybody was jealous of you. You were the one being angry, jealous, and envious of everybody else's successes and saying that you're better than all those people while being the egotistical narcissist that you are. You were the one that did that, Phil. Not everyone else.
And it's sad that these people can't bust out of that trap, that prison, that mold that they're stuck in.
This is coming from the guy that is actually sitting in a setup that looks like a fucking insane asylum, just looks a little bit flashy. You see the fucking memory foam that's in the background. You see his desks, in quotes, that he has. You see how he has his setup. You see that mic arm that really shouldn't be there. Yeah, you see how he sets this up. And yet he's calling what everyone else is living in a prison.
To realize that if they just looked big picture and understood the human condition, they would realize what a waste they are.
This is coming from the guy that has no understanding of the human condition. This is the guy that proclaims he is rational, but doesn't have a rational thought in his body. This is also the guy that proclaims he knows everything about common sense, but has no common sense. This is the guy that wants to proclaim to the world that he wants to spread a positive message and to spread positivity. But keep this in mind as well. This is also the same guy that wants people to drop off the planet, to not exist anymore. That way, the world will be a better place for him. But if you dare question and get onto him about his so-called depression, he automatically will ban you and go on a tirade about how he has depression, but detractors mean nothing and that they're less than nothing. Yeah, keep that part in mind.
Because none of them sitting there doing that are helping anyone. They could be helping themselves and others, but instead it's just waste, waste, waste.
I highly doubt whenever a detractor restreams or just streams in general that they're not providing anything that's positive. At least they're actually making content that's actually entertaining to them, that's actually meaningful to them, as you would like to say. There are people out there that'll actually stream late at night because there are people that either are A, going to work, B, at work and they need background noise, or also just, living on parts of the world that they actually are awake and they're actually doing things, background noise. But yet you don't like that, Phil, because you don't have that. And that's just where the jealousy and the envy is coming from.
It's sad. And again, I've been there. I've absolutely positively been there. So
yeah, you've been there and then you cry victim.
It's, it is what it is. But yeah, it's funny because you take a look at like a show like Smart Guys, right? Where
again, Phil is sitting there right there shilling his own shitty merchandise, which is his Smart Guys show.
We are actively trying to do fun segments and fun things.
I really don't think that it's fun things. And also, goddamn, that fucking head wobble.
With the content that people would want to see, but you notice that there's no support for it. Because these people are so ingrained and brainwashed to think I have to watch this content on an illegal restreamer and not support Phil, even though supporting Phil would actually keep the content coming that they want.
Hey, Philbert, you want to know what actually does count as support, but you don't even realize it because there's no money involved with it? Someone actually going to your show, sitting there, like with a fucking viewing audience alongside the community that you love to praise that you have, and just sitting there liking the stream, commenting in the chat. All of that is considered to be support enough. It's engagement. But you don't want engagement. You want money to be tossed at you for it. Like, my God, the guy who wants to claim that he sees the big picture doesn't understand the big picture.
They don't get that because they've been brainwashed because people manipulate them. People like these restreamers literally are manipulating their audiences on a daily basis to be a cult-like mentality of hate towards me so that their gravy train keeps coming in. You notice they're all monetized. You notice they all accept contributions. They're not doing it because they feel like this is a true crusade or good thing that they're doing. They're doing it for the money.
Again, this is where Phil immediately likes to pocket watch, and he's saying that all these channels that do illegal restreams on me are monetized. Again, if they monetize their own content, Phil, that is up to the channel to actually do so. That is the person running it. It is not your decision to tell them, don't monetize my content about me. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Instead, just have nothing. And again, It is up to the creator to do so. I love how he's saying that that we're brainwashing and manipulating an audience to actually say, hey, we hate Phil and let's build the cult. The front-facing baby chick cult is at large with this, or the urban bowl streamer out there, you know, with Sly. Oh, there he's manipulating his audience, or Brosai with the muscle group. Oh, he's brainwashing his audience, or Detractor Beam with the brainworms that they're manipulating their audience. All of this right here, when Phil's saying all this shit, it's just fucking stupid. And again, it's projecting. That's what Phil's doing to his audience by manipulating his audience into believing that the detractors are vile people.
That's why, you know what I mean? That's it. They're just fucking grifters.
This is coming from the guy that likes to play AAA games and hoping people toss money at him. Or, hey guys, give me $150 and I'll eat a snack from my Sakura box.
A bunch of schlubs. And one day the gravy train's gonna end. Whether it's via the law, whether it's via YouTube rules changing, whatever it's gonna be, it ain't gonna last forever. But they're going to grift until then. So it's really sad that there are thousands of people out there that could be potential positive people in this community, but instead they're just sitting there in a cult that literally helps no one but the grifters.
This is coming from the grifter himself. Phil, if you like to proclaim yourself as a gravy train, if you just all of a sudden don't exist anymore, they'll move on to something else. Whether it be another lolcow or something that they enjoy, whether it be video games, whether it be music, whether it be building Gundams, you know, things of that sort. But Phil doesn't seem to understand that because he seems to think that a detractor is a job to them, when in reality, it's a hobby. And this is just too stupid.
So Mulsibush says, I'm one of those people. I met you through a mirror channel. Very toxic and vicious people there. I can understand that they don't like or they even hate you, but why hate and attack people that support you? They know nothing about those supporters. Some are even young people, and cheers. Those closeted fans out there who can't man up and admit to themselves that they actually enjoy one streamer or the other and must lie even to themselves. You will forever live at the shadow of what other people think of you. Wow.
Wow.
We're getting some insightful stuff.
Yeah, insightful things about how everybody is vicious and mean. Oh my god, my fifis were hurt. Oh, wow.
Some insightful stuff on today's stream, man. That was well said.
Yeah, well said. Thanks, Kat.
A good one. And then we got a $5 tip here.
And of course there's money involved with it. As soon as Phil mentions detractors, hey, support me instead. And yet he wants to call all the detractors grifters. What are you doing right now, Phil?
Okay, this is the same person who had made the suggestion about appealing to those hate watching on restreams. Okay, it's a $5 tip. And they said, I get where you're coming from. I thought you might appreciate the insight into other communities that revolve around you and actively watch you. And they have dedicated viewership. And I'd be sad to find out if 100% of them are haters. But like you said, probably at least a few percent of people are just hanging around because of you in their communities. Maybe that's because they can be unhinged, but actually appreciate and support even every month. So that's positive. Thank you and have a nice stream. Yeah. Oh, like I said, I legitimately get contacted. All right.
I love how he immediately goes, I get contacted by people that were former detractors of mine apologizing to me, and it just makes it all worthwhile, and I grab the lube.
I people who say, I used to be a part of that community, and then I took a step back. Like a lot of them actually say things like it took a friend or a family member who found out that I was a part of that community and watched a restream and literally said to me, what on earth are you doing with your life? This is like really messed up toxic stuff you're participating in, and you've got to fix this because you're going down a really bad path in your life.
No. No. I highly doubt that this person has actually got told by a friend or a family member or someone at work that, oh my god, you need an intervention. You're not helping yourself. You're a detractor. Oh my god. What the fuck is this? Yeah, we need to get you an intervention. You've been hating our dark side, Phil, way too long. God damn.
I've had people outright say it's almost like an intervention.
No. Yeah, I highly doubt someone going into check-in rehab going, hi, I used to be a detractor of Phil. I was told that I need to seek help. I need to go turn myself into rehab. They'll probably look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But now they've seen the error of their ways and they're sorry. And some people do eventually become, actual active fans and viewers. And some are like, I've just decided to move on with my life, but I wanted to apologize. And I appreciate that.
You appreciate the apologies because you get off on apologies to you.
No, I really do. But it's crazy. I mean, no lie. Those communities are like cults.
This is coming from the cult leader himself. Hey, you watch a Detractor? Well, you're a mouth driller. Get the fuck out of my chat. Hey, you give me criticism? Get the fuck out of my chat. Oh, hey, you gave me money? Oh, you're such a good sport. I really like it when you give me money. Oh, but you only gave me $1? Well, you could do better than that.
They've become 100% regurgitation. Here's what you do, right? Go to one of those restreams and watch whenever a meme appears. I do something that is a negative meme and watch how literally every person on the stream becomes a fucking parrot or a sheep and they're all repeating it and it's like they're completely programmed to react in that way. It's fucked.
Aren't you the same person when you were looking for something to try on Amazon? I think it was like soap or something like that. And you saw the word robust and you kept saying that word over and over and over and over again. Or how about the time where you said, hey, open up your wallet and give me money. And you called that pignosis. So you're telling me that if a Detractor has a meme about you, oh, they're like parrots. But if you do it, it's A-O-fucking-K?
It's legit fucked. Like, whoa. There's like 1,000 people on this stream and they're all crazy. They've all been programmed to react to that when it happens. Like, what on earth?
He thinks that this is some kind of government program to actually go onto the audience and be like, hey, you must hate Phil. Like some MK Ultra shit. Like, what the fuck are you even on about with this bullshit, Phil? Because that's what you're doing to your own audience.
Like, what is that? That's not normal human reaction and behavior. It's fucked.
This is coming from the guy that proclaims what he's doing is normal, but it's very abnormal.
It's like you've been programmed and sensitized to react that way to that thing, even when the memes don't make sense.
Well, none of the memes, in quotes, that you're trying to do make zero fucking sense. Or, better yet, when you bring up a Detractor meme, you think that it's funny when you do it, but if a Detractor does it, oh, they're vicious mouth-droolers that no one should pay attention to. You need to get rid of those people. Again, this is hypocrisy. Pure fucking hypocrisy based on cope and projection.
Because there's memes they've made about me that legit are not factually true about anything, but they have repeated them to the point where now it's like we must respond this way when we see or hear this thing.
This is also when Phil's telling everybody that he's happy with his life, that he's happily married, that he has a good life, that he loves what he's doing. When he keeps lying to himself, he's just programming himself to say all this shit because he knows deep down he's a miserable person. But no, keep the lie going by saying that you're a happy person, happily married, you have a family. You keep telling yourself and your audience that multiple fucking times and you're hoping that it would stick.
It's like I must respond to the stimuli because I'm programmed that way.
Again, you're bringing up MK Ultra shit right now.
Even though it doesn't make sense that you're doing it. Did you ever see like the stories of people who've actually been programmed, brainwashed, and all of a sudden they'll react to something and they don't know why?
Yeah, that sounds like MK Ultra bullshit, Phil. That's what it just sounds like. Or better yet, it just sounds like something that you see in Naked Gun. You know, with that little device that he just pressed a button and anybody could be an assassin. That's what that kind of reminds me of, that what Phil's talking about. Like, he thinks that that's what Detractors are doing. Phil, that's what you're doing.
Because they were brainwashed to react to it. That's how these people are. But they don't get it. And
projection, cope.
they don't understand that the people who brainwash them are profiting on them every single moment.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Detractors, whenever they have monetized content, that they're not begging for money, that they're not demanding people to give them money to keep the content going. Instead, they're just streaming to have fun with it. They're making fun of you, sure, but they're at least providing some commentary, some insight. And if someone throws them a couple of dollars, at least they're grateful for it. Not you. You're the one constantly demanding people to give you money to fill your coffers. And once you hit your goal, you make it rain pancakes, and you're still ungrateful. You still ask for fucking more. Like, my fucking God. Projection, cope. coat.
They're getting ad revenue. They're doing super chats. They're throwing the money. It's a cultish mental conditioning.
Again, this is coming from the guy demanding people to give him money, to give him tips, to give him super chats, to give him YouTube memberships, to give him memberships on Kick. And yet he's saying that that's what detractors are doing.
They don't get it.
Yeah, take a sip, you fucking asshole.
Okay. Like I said, I think we're gonna wrap it up now.
Please do. My head is hurting.
I have an anonymous dollar tip. That's it. Just an anonymous dollar tip just came in. Whoever that was, thank you. No message attached to that one. Remember, if anyone today does want to tip me, maybe you're a newcomer, be sure to include a message and the name you want to be addressed by in the body of the tip when you send it. I don't see any of that information if you just send me the tip.
I'm sorry. He's saying detractors are asking people for money to do all this shit, that we have a cult-like mentality, that they were programming people to do this. And look what Phil's doing. He immediately gets an anonymous $1 tip and goes, oh, hey, if you like my content, doesn't matter if you're a newcomer, give me money. I fucking hate it. You gotta admit, every single time that Phil would go on and on and on about his detractors, you automatically know that he's coping, seething, and projecting about something. In this particular case, it had to involve around money. Because he really wants money to the point where he's actually desperate enough to tell his detractors to give him money, to spot him a 50 as it were. But whenever he doesn't get that and everybody else, you know, detractors are getting said money, he doesn't like that very much. So he immediately wants to go on and on and on with this little narrative that detractors are grifters, that they're scumbags, and that they're less than dirt. And you know the rest from there. But yet while Phil does this, he immediately goes into, please support my stream, please, you love me guys, the internet loves me again, please give me money so we can do this marathon. Even though, who's really benefiting from it, really? It definitely isn't any one of his audience members, and it's definitely no one that's watching this stupid content. Regardless of this whole entire thing, though, Phil is just a grifter, always will be a grifter, and will always paint himself in a positive light while playing the perpetual victim. With that done, I'm going to end this off with the Phil prayer, because why not? It's tradition at this point. Deliver us from the dents, deliver us from the pay pigs, deliver us from the pignosis. May we never become dented, may we never become a beggar like Darkside Phil, and just for the love of God, if you're watching a detractor streamer, doesn't matter if they're making videos or they're just doing like streams, support them nonetheless. It doesn't matter if it's just you sitting in there watching, engaging with the streamer as well as the community in their own chats, or just tossing them a super chat or a membership if they have that on there. Support them in any way, shape, or form. Engage with them. Engagement is definitely key. But if you're Phil, though, that's not a good thing because it's always about money with Philbert.